Hope you're having a good week. Hope you enjoyed the holiday. Hope you watched the Stars game last night because we dominated and it was pretty great. Really happy that we're moving on to the next round in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Going to be facing the St. Louis Blues. Everybody other than guitar, this is what you should be watching. But hope you had a good holiday weekend, no matter what you celebrate. If it was just a time off, glad you had a long weekend. But it's the end of the month, and I wanted to start doing some cool, end of the month, a free lesson video for everyone who follows my page and my YouTube channel, Mitchakes Music. And since I teach music primarily to what anyone wants to do, I find that sometimes not everybody's doing the same thing, shockingly. So in these lessons I'm going to be doing that are free once a month, I might be talking about some stuff I think is cool that everyone should check out and should know regardless of the style that you're into learning. So for today, I'm going to be looking at the legendary guitarist, Mr. B.B. King. B.B. King was one of the greatest guitar players who ever lived. He's the king of the blues. He was just an icon and a wonderful, kind-hearted human being. And I think that everybody should know a little bit of how to play like B.B. King, even if you're not into playing blues music, because it will help you with soloing, it will help you with playing over chord changes, it will help you with understanding really good vibrato, which is important in any style you play, and understanding how important note selection is when you play lead. So I wanted to go over some B.B. licks that maybe not everybody on the internet or in the world knows. Some of my very close family friends were very close with B.B. King, and I have been privy to have some firsthand knowledge that I think most guitarists are not so lucky to have. So I wanted to share a little bit of that with you to maybe pique some interest in Mr. King's music. If you've never heard any of B.B.'s music, I'm going to recommend a couple live records that you should be checking out. And these are kind of like, do you like Coke or Pepsi kind of a thing? You know, neither is better than the other, but every guitarist, once you check these out, tends to have their favorites. First up on the chopping block is B.B. King live at the Regal. This is arguably the most seminal blues recording, live recording, I would say, of all time. This is just a seminal recording. Go get you some. If you want to know what B.B. King sounded like in his prime, this is it. This is my favorite record. I sit here with headphones on before I play gigs or sessions sometimes for 20 minutes and just jam out because it's so inspiring. So check out this one. But another one we're checking out, this, I would call this the Coke. Here's the Pepsi. B.B. King live at the Cook County Jail. This is a little more R&B based. This is a little more classic blues based. Both are great. I recommend owning both, but if you want to get into Mr. King, check out either of these. It's chock full of his playing examples for you to hear. So one of the things I wanted to share, there's three main points you want to think about when you are trying to play like B.B. King, and some of these might just be separate lessons in and of themselves. I'm going to show you some advanced blues techniques today in this video, so if you're uncomfortable with any of these 3 points, I recommend working on them separately and then reattempting your licks to get the result you want. But the 3 factors that are really important when playing like B.B. King are, number 1, vibrato. B.B.'s vibrato is arguably the greatest vibrato any guitar player can ever have. You don't need pedals, you don't need anything. It's all in his hands. The way he twirls, the way he shakes, and it's so subtle it sounds like a human voice. So that's an integral technique you have to work on. I'll show you a couple techniques really quick on vibrato if you're unfamiliar with how to do it. Sometimes when he was on his index finger, Mr. King would be on the B string and he'd twirl it. I'm literally taking my hand off the guitar and I take my finger and I twirl this way. I'm using my thumb and my other fingers as a counterbalance and I go like this. It's real subtle, just all on the wrist. So that's one style. The other style would be you kind of float on top like this. To where you're going this way. So I'd work on both of those and get them to where you can do them on all of your fingers, because that will really help you get BB's kind of vibe when you listen to his solos. The next point number dos, is you want to be able to swing when you play. What is swing rhythm? Well, it's primarily in blues and jazz, and you want to be like long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. You want that kind of a vibe happening when you're playing. So that's really important. If you're not familiar with swing, listen to a little bit of jazz and try just getting your picture where you go. That's kind of the vibe of what you want to do to get swing. If you're not swinging when you're choosing your notes, it'll sound a little bit off. So that's something you want to check out. And then lastly, when you play, try not to overplay. BB was a master of playing both incredibly fierce and also incredibly delicate and with a ton of grace. So you really want to try and just maybe back off 30% on the notes you choose and just make each one count. He was the king of that. So what I'm going to show you today for our video lesson is a lick I learned firsthand from my dear family friend Christian Brooks. Christian was close friends with Stevie Ray Vaughan. He made Stevie's original strap, the SRV strap you've seen on every album cover, on his Austin City Limits performance, all of the pictures you've seen of Stevie Ray. Christian made that for Stevie. He makes all my guitar straps. This is one that he made for me many years ago to go with my Epiphone Riviera, which is kind of my blues boy Lucille guitar. You know what I'm saying? But he makes guitar straps, and you can check him out at Christian Brooks Custom Leather. He has a wonderful Facebook page and a wonderful YouTube channel where he shows off all of his leather skills. But Christian was friends with Mr. King. Christian made Mr. King many guitar straps over his life, and he got the opportunity to ask BB, hey, how do you do your vibrato like this? How do you do this? So a lot of what I'm about to show you is Christian sitting me down and kind of showing me one-on-one in the same way that Mr. King showed him. And a lot of this blues knowledge is passed down in this way. It's not really written down. It's an oral tradition where people share little nuances of how they do things, and that's how the music gets passed on. So I'm going to share my version of that today with you guys. But this is a lick that I never see anybody play online. I never see anybody do. Everybody seems to always play the same 4 licks. So this one's kind of a finger twister that I'm going to show you, but I think it's really cool. So if you come up here to the 9th fret on your guitar, we're going to be based out of our blues scale position here. So if you're unfamiliar with the blues scale or the pentatonic scale, the minor pentatonic scale, well, it goes a bit like this. And usually when you're one of my students, that's one of the first things we learn. But if you don't know that, maybe take a quick second to go through your blues scale and get comfortable with it. So the first thing BB does here is I'm going to be on the 9th fret of my G string. And I'm going to go through like this. Here's the lick. So I'll play it at full speed, and then we'll kind of go through the whole thing. One more time. Kind of a quick little finger bender. So I'm going to be on 9 on my G string. I'm going to go 9, 10, 9 on the B. So it's like a little triplet. You get 9, 10, 9. Okay, so that's the first part. And then my second part of the triplet, I'm going to kind of combine into 2 chunks. So then I'm going to go 9, 10 on the G, 11 on the G, 11 on the B, 9 on on the high E. So that part I go. So the two parts we've learned so far, we got our first triplet, 9, 10, 9. So that'll be 9 and 10 on the G and 9 on the B string. And then my next part, I'm going to go 9, 10, 11, 11 on the B. And finish on the high C sharp octave on the 9th fret of my high E. So here's our two parts together. So now I'm going to add the bends. And this is where any good blues guitarist can show off their chops. So BB goes on the 11th fret of his high E string, and he's going to bend up that pitch. He's going to bend up. What we're doing is we're playing on the 2nd, and we're bending it up to a major 3rd. And that's very integral to BB because he plays kind of in a major mode once he gets on certain strings. He kind of will avoid the flat 3rd blues note that's typical of a pentatonic. So we have... So here's the whole thing. So I'm going to bend up on 11. I'm going to bend it up a whole step. Come back down to the 9, to the root, and then go on 12, bend that up. So now I'm going to land on that minor 3rd, but bend it up to the 4th. Back to the minor 3rd, back to the 1. So the whole bend lick is 11, pull back down, 9, 12, bend, back down, 9. So the whole thing. Sometimes if you want to sound a little more like Mr. King, you can double hit that 9th fret whenever you end the phrase, or double hit the octave, or double hit the root, whatever you want to call it. BB would go. That always makes it a little more BB Kingish, you know? So the whole lick again. We'll go slow, and then I'll play it at full tempo. So our first triplet, 2nd group, 3rd bend lick. Here's the whole thing at full tempo. It's a really sweet little finger twister that Christian showed me. So there's your free video lesson for the month, guys. If you want some more info on how to play like B.B. King, feel free to reach out to me and we can start setting that up for you in lessons. Check out www.mitchakesmusic.com for more info on all my blogs and all of our video vlogs. And be sure to check out my YouTube channel at Mitchakes Music. You can search for our channel on YouTube, it'll come right up. I'll start adding these video lessons to YouTube as well, so there'll be a source of everything there that you can refer to if you want to keep watching this lesson to learn. But as always, guys, have fun playing. Check out some B.B. King. I know it'll change your lives and change your playing forever. Peace.